Hello, good evening. So my name is Joash Benedict with matrix number 179-226.
Hi, my name is Chong Chuni with metric number 179106. So today we'll be recording on our Cell 2108 Academic Portfolio Task A. I'll be the examiner and Joash will be the one answering the question.
Yes.
So first question. So Joash, where do you live?
Okay. So I live in Seremban, which is part of is a small city. Yeah, a small city in Negeri Sembilan. So Negeri Sembilan is like divided into nine, not states, but nine.
Town.
Yeah, some sort of town like that. So 9 towns, and Seremban is one of the towns that is in Negeri Sembilan. So it's not towns, it's called districts.
Districts.
Yeah, so 9 districts. So Seremban is one of the districts, and I live in Seremban. Then yeah, Seremban is basically where I live is Seremban 2, which is a new section of Seremban, but basically it's in the whole Seremban area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So second question, what are your hobbies?
What are my hobbies? Okay, so what I like to do is I like to play badminton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so sometimes during the weekends, me and my dad we will go to a just like book a badminton court, and then we'll play maybe for 2 hours like that. Yeah. So besides badminton, I also like to play the drums. So drums is something I picked up when I was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 12 years old, so I picked it up when I was in church. So one of the um, one of the church members, they actually taught me how to play the drums, and ever since then I really enjoyed playing drums.
I see.
Yeah.
So what did you do last weekend?
Last weekend, so um, last weekend, me and my family we actually planned a trip to Ipoh, and while that plan was was in the process of being confirmed and sorted out, I discovered that my faculty actually had an activity which is a dolphin research observation. So it was also in Ipoh, not Ipoh, like basically close by to Ipoh. So I told my family about it, and they were quite interested. So we went to Kuala
Sepatang.
Sepatang, yeah, Kuala Sepatang, uh, a bit close to Ipoh. So we were there for almost the entire day. What we did was we went on boats, um, and then the boatman took us around while the researchers were trying to find and observe the dolphins that were there. So the dolphins that we observed was the researchers said there is three types of dolphins around that area. One is the Indo-Pacific humpback dolphin. One more is the Irrawaddy dolphin. Another one I'm not sure, I forgot. Yeah, so we managed to find 8 Indo-Pacific humpback dolphins, and it was quite an interesting day. Yeah, so besides that, after that one whole day, the next day on Sunday, we just walked around Ipoh town, trying all the famous delicacies, all the famous coffees, like the Ipoh white coffee. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So what will your future job be?
okay. So future job. Um, so basically now I'm studying veterinary medicine, and when I graduate, I plan to be a wildlife veterinarian. So what does a wildlife veterinarian do? Well, they basically help to treat treat any wildlife animals. Besides that, also help in rescuing or rehabilitating animals, or even like protecting the areas that have these wildlife animals. Um, yeah, so that is where I see myself going in the future.
In the future.
Yes.
So next will be so you say you're interested in being a wildlife vet, so most probably you have been to many different type of wildlife parks or zoo.
Yes.
So describe a zoo or a wildlife park you have visited that has impressed you the most.
Okay, so I can tell you about my trip to Sabah. So when I went to Sabah, I volunteered for 2 weeks in a wildlife rescue unit. So that was something that really impressed me because um, from all the zoos and all the wildlife parks I've been, this one is a bit different because it taught me about the real struggles that are happening in Sabah and in around Malaysia. So like what wildlife is really facing is mostly human and animal conflict. So it's basically what happens when, let's say, there is an elephant that comes into like walks into the farm, a plantation farm, and then it starts eating all the crops. So the farmer will, the farmer will get angry and then will try and chase the elephant away. So then there is conflict. So this is something that is happening quite regularly during in Sabah, but not just Sabah, also in Malaysia. Like you see monkeys going into people's house, or you see monitor lizards in people's drainage. So these are the things that I didn't really see, but when I went to the wildlife rescue unit in Sabah, the Dr. Diana, she really opened my eyes and said that these are the usual struggles that wildlife is facing. So besides that, there is also the struggle of poaching, and also poaching, and mostly poaching for tigers' skin, or even elephants' tusks. So yeah.
Okay. So moving on, what do you think are the benefits of keeping animals in a zoo?
So the benefits of keeping animal in a zoo, well, first of all, you have to see like what is the zoo for. So the zoo is there because it's sort of like a educational institution, something like that. So the zoo, they bring in wildlife animals, and then they somehow like promote it, like showing to the public like, okay, this is a tiger, this is a tapir, and then they got, and even they educate the people that go to the zoo. So they put in like on the boards, on the signs, they tell about the history of the animal, where do they live, what do they eat, and how do they adapt in the place, the surrounding areas. So it's some sort of like a educational institute. Besides that, it also benefits researchers, because if researchers want to study on tigers, want to study on rhinos, all these animals are very rare to be seen in the wild. So since they are already in the zoo, it's very easy for these researchers to take blood samples, fecal samples, and do their research on maybe viruses or um, diseases. So it also benefits researchers, and also another point is that it benefits healthcare to the society, because if there is an outbreak, a zoonotic disease, so a zoonotic disease is a disease that can be transmitted from humans to animals. So if there is an outbreak of zoonotic disease, we do not know where it comes from. So researchers, scientists, they can actually like try to take samples and try to identify um, the real cause of where this zoonotic disease comes from. So it might like you have already heard that Sabah has an Sarawak or Sabah, it has an outbreak of rabies. I think it's Sarawak. Yeah. So rabies, it actually originated from wild bats in the in the caves. Yeah, so they are considered wildlife too. So once we know where it comes from, we can actually try to prevent the bats from coming, or try to prevent interaction between human and bats. Yeah.
So, in your opinion, do you think the benefits of keeping animals in a zoo outweigh the drawbacks? And can you give a few reasons why, if you agree or disagree?
Okay, so the benefits um, outweigh the drawbacks. Um, I would say maybe it's equal, because if like you look at 2 points, like you see the drawbacks are something related to the animals' behavioral and health care. So the drawbacks are, for example, is like the behavior. Some animals, they once they are caged up in a area, they don't really exhibit they can't do their natural uh, behaviors, like um, panthers, they like to climb on trees. So if the zoo does not provide trees, they can't do it. It's like something it's already in them for them to do, but they can't do it. So yeah, they're restricted to it. So what they do is they start doing stereotypic behavior, which maybe like pacing around the zoos. That's why you see a lot of tigers, a lot of lions. You just see them walking here and walking there, back and forth. So that's a stereotypical behavior. Um, yeah, so it changes their instincts and changes how the way they do things. Besides that, it's also a matter of health. Some zoos, they don't really provide proper environment or enclosures for the animals. So what happens is the animal can't really survive, can't really adapt, and once they can't adapt, then they start to get sick because they are stressed. And then once they get sick, then there's all these problems of disease, or even sometimes dying. So those are the drawbacks. So if you look at it both ways, there is I would say um, it's equal. There's no the benefits does not outweigh the drawbacks, but maybe it can't something can be done for the drawbacks.
So, in your opinion, how would you suggest a few ways besides zoos? How would you educate the public on wildlife animals?
Mm, I would say by mm, because Malaysia has a lot of NGOs, organizations, non-government organizations that um, are towards a certain species or animal, like the Turtle Conservation Organization, or even the Tapir Organization. So what these organizations can do is maybe plan a few uh, talks, or maybe activities or visits to the zoos, or even just have like
School-based.
school-based program. So maybe they can go to the schools, or even go to the veterinary faculties to like give their opinions, and also like educate the young people, especially young people, because those are the ones that are going to protect the wild. So yeah.
In a few years' time, you'll be a vet, most probably a wildlife vet. What can you contribute back to the society?
Mm, what my plan to do is actually um, try to conserve as much of the Malaysian wildlife as possible, because slowly, day by day, a lot of wildlife animals are being hunted and being tortured just for consumption of meat, or even just for their skin, to make leather, or to make a headstool on a wall. So my goal is to actually change change the people's view on wildlife, showing them that they are beautiful, but they are not to be touched. They are just to be observed, just to look at them, not have them, not possess them, or any part of them. So that is my goal.
So that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.